Hi there and welcome to this 164th Tech Q&A session where I'll be answering some of your tech related questions. And this Tech Q&A session is powered by Lenovo ZUK. And in this Q&A sessions, I answer some of your tech related questions. You can post your questions via Twitter, and also lately I've been picking up a lot of questions via the YouTube community page. So let's get going, and I have a lot of interesting questions, so let's start. And the first question that I got was from Karthik. He was asking, which camera is best, the iPhone 7 Plus, OnePlus 3T, or the Google Pixel? Again, I would say, I wouldn't say one camera is best in everything. I would say if you want one between these three, my pick would be the Google Pixel. That overall does a far better job in artificial lighting and low lighting conditions. That's the main problem with the smartphones. But again, the iPhone 7 Plus also has a huge edge. Because of its second camera, it can optically easily zoom twice, that's 2x. So if you mostly take objects and you are going to zoom in, then I feel the iPhone 7 Plus does a better job. But again, apart from that, if I compare side by side, I had the iPhone 7 also. The Google Pixel does better, and definitely both the iPhone 7 Plus and the Google Pixel camera is better than the OnePlus 3T. Again, it's not a fair comparison, guys. See the price of the OnePlus 3T and those two other phones. Hope it helps. This is by Sujit. He's asking, hi Ranjit, can you please suggest me a good power bank? I'm looking for about 10,000 to 12,000 milliamp hour power bank. Which brand is good? Sujit, I had good luck with OnePlus power bank. If I recall, it was a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank. The advantage is that it has two out USB ports, so you can charge two devices simultaneously. Lately, just about 2 months ago, I also had checked out the new power bank from Xiaomi, and again that was also 10,000 milliamp hour. In fact, what I really liked with the Xiaomi power bank was that it's using the new USB Type C port, and it also supports pass-through charging, so that's a big advantage. And also I like the fact that the new Xiaomi power bank was very small in size compared to most of the other power banks. For example, if you just hold it, it feels like a 6,000 milliamp hour power bank or something like that, but it's a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank. So these are the two power banks that I've been using, and I had good luck. In fact, the OnePlus power bank is now almost 1.5 years old and still working. This is by Abhijit. He's asking, how well does the Snapdragon 430 system on chip performs on the Nokia 6? Again, I can't comment how will it perform on the Nokia 6, but again, if you have been following me, the Snapdragon 430 chipset was there on the Lenovo K6 Power, and if you see the performance of the Lenovo K6 Power, even in gaming with very heavy games, it did very well. So it's not just the SoC. The SoC can handle 1080p without any issues. We have seen that with the Lenovo K6 Power. But again, it comes down to optimization also. For example, just yesterday I posted the gaming review of the CoolPad Cool 1 that runs on the Snapdragon 652 SoC. But again, in many of the games, it was lagging and severely lagging on Asphalt. So it's not just the SoC, it also depends upon the optimization what the vendor has done. And again, it's too early to comment about the Nokia 6 without testing, but I hope Nokia has done good customization and the UI is not very bloaty. This is by AM Tech. He's asking, which MacBook would you prefer between the MacBook Air versus the MacBook Pro 2015? Personally, I would say I like using the MacBook Air. I own both actually. I have the MacBook Air also, and I also have the MacBook Pro. But I mostly use the MacBook Pro because of my needs. Again, you guys know that I work with a lot of video. I have to do a lot of video editing and stuff. And in those aspects, the MacBook Pro is definitely a more powerful machine. Another big thing that I like on the MacBook Pro compared to the MacBook Air is in terms of screen quality. The screen quality on the MacBook Air is not very accurate, I would say. And the screen quality is pretty weak. That is not the case with the MacBook Pro. In fact, the MacBook Pro's Retina screen is very clear. So again, for my kind of work, I would say I like the MacBook Pro. But again, if portability is a high factor, I like the weight of the MacBook Air. So I hope it answers your question. But again, if you're going to do very serious kind of work, 3D modeling stuff, video editing, and heavy stuff like that, then the MacBook Pro might be a better bet. But again, the MacBook Pros are pretty expensive. This is by Rahul. He's asking difference between SoCs and why the same camera sensors and the same SoCs show different real-time results. I mean, on different phones with the same sensors and same processor. Again, you're confusing between a system on chip and the actual sensors on the camera and stuff. Yeah, we have seen this lately a lot. Many of the, vendors use Sony sensors and they get a lot better results in terms of picture. For example, Samsung uses Sony sensors. Pixel has used the Sony sensor. But again, yeah, you're correct. When Sony uses their own sensors in their smartphones, even their higher end smartphones, they don't get very good results. So it's not just the sensor, guys. Many people just mistake. If you have a good sensor, you'll get good output. Other things also matter. The type of lens that is there, elements on the lens. And apart from that, another very important factor is the post-processing. Again, every OEM has their own post-processing. That's the reason Samsung and now even Google is doing a great job using Sony sensors. Whereas Sony, I feel, is pretty weak in that department. Moving to the next one, this is by Kirti. She's asking, suggest me an alternative for OnePlus 3T. I love the OnePlus 3T, but due to budget issues, suggest something around the 20 to 25,000 price band. Kirti, I would say if camera is not your highest priority, you can have a look at the Lenovo Z2 PLus. Now the price of the Lenovo Z2 PLus has fallen. You can get the 4GB RAM model that comes with 64GB of storage for just 18,000, and I feel for that price it's a great bet. Again, another option is the Mi 5, but again the battery life on the Mi 5 is not that great and it's a very fragile phone. So if you're sort of a rough user, I wouldn't recommend the Mi 5. Apart from that, again, we have the Moto Z Play. Again, the biggest advantage of the Moto Z Play is the battery life that you'll get on the Moto Z Play. So if battery life is your highest criteria, I would say Moto Z Play comes to my mind. But again, the camera on the Moto Z Play also was not that great. So here are the choices in this price point. I hope it helps. This is by Zishan. He's asking, Lenovo Z2 PLus at 15,000, is it a good buy compared to other competitors? I've got similar questions regarding the Lenovo Z2 PLus, quite a few in fact, I would say. And yes, now recently the price of the Lenovo Z2 PLus has fallen down. The 3GB RAM model that comes with 32GB of storage can be had for just 15,000. And guys, this is having the Snapdragon 820 chipset. So it's a very, very powerful phone. Again, if you try to compete with any other phone in this price point, it's the most powerful phone that you can get. But again, the con with the Lenovo Z2 PLus is that the camera is sort of average. I would say the camera is not bad. You can check out my in-depth review where I have a lot of samples and stuff. The camera is not horrible or something like that. But again, if we compare it to other smartphones coming with the Snapdragon 820 chipset, for example, even the Xiaomi Mi 5 or the OnePlus 3, both of them have far better camera compared to the Lenovo Z2 PLus. In fact, I would say if camera is your highest priority, then the Moto G4 Plus also has a better camera compared to the Lenovo Z2 PLus. But again, the Moto G4 Plus has that heating issues and stuff like that. So if overall performance is your priority, you want a very fast phone with good battery life, but again, you can compromise and have an average sort of camera, then definitely the Lenovo Z2 PLus will be my top pick at this price point. This is by Himanshu. He's asking, he says, I want a smartphone which has 3GB RAM, 32GB internal storage, 3000 mAh battery, and the budget is around 15,000. I just answered, the Lenovo Z2 PLus is a fabulous choice. But again, if camera is your highest priority, then you can have a look at the Moto G4 Plus. Then we have the Redmi Note 3. But again, I would say don't go with the Redmi Note 3 because on 19th, Xiaomi is going to launch the Redmi Note 4. We'll know the pricing. And I think so. Generally, Xiaomi is very aggressive with the pricing, so I'm hoping they'll have a couple of variants below that 15,000 price point. So these are my picks as of now. There is also one more phone, that is the Honor 6 X. Again, we don't know the pricing. The pricing for that will be announced on 24th January. Honor 6X, I would say if camera is your highest priority, that's another camera centric phone. But again, for static pictures, in video it was not doing that great. So these are a couple of options you can have a look at. And before we proceed, the jargon buster for this week, and this is powered by Lenovo ZUK. And Lenovo wanted me to talk about chips and on which node they are. Difference between a 28 nanometer versus a 14. For example, many of the last generation processors like the Snapdragon 617 and others were manufactured on the 28 nanometer, whereas many of the newer ones like the Snapdragon 820 and even the Snapdragon 625 are based on the 14 nanometer using FinFET. So what does it do? What are the efficiencies that you can expect? And again, I'm going to restrict this to just ARM chips basically on smartphones. Again, this will be relevant even to desktop chips, but we won't get into that because it'll take too much time. And the thing is that from moving to 28 nanometer to 14 nanometer, what is this actually? This is the actual space between the transistors that is there on your chips. And there are billions and billions of transistors. And what happens is that when you reduce it, for example, from 28 to 14, there are some efficiencies that come. And the advantages are that this chip manufacturers can fit in a lot more, chips in one wafer because the size has been reduced. A wafer is there, on the wafers the chips are made, but now by reducing the size they can fit in a lot more chips. That increases the efficiency. And also the biggest advantage that you as a consumer will have regarding this one is the power efficiency also increases. As the node size decreases from, let's say, 28 to 14 nanometer, the amount of energy that is required to give a signal from one transistor to another transistor also decreases significantly. And that's the reason that you get much higher power efficiencies with the processors using moving from a 28 to a 14, or even the latest one, the Snapdragon 835 will be based on 10 nanometer architecture. So that's one of the biggest advantages that you will get. And again, because of that, you will get better battery life. For example, to give you an idea, by moving from the Snapdragon 617, which if I recall was based on the 28 nanometer architecture, to this Snapdragon 625, you get about 35% more battery life. And another side effect is that the Snapdragon 625, because it's based on the 14 nanometer architecture, heats up a lot less compared to the Snapdragon 617. So again, I hope this info helps you. And again, the latest and the greatest Snapdragon 835 chipset will be based on the 10 nanometer architecture, and that'll be made by Samsung. So that was the jargon buster for this week. Hope you guys liked it. This is by Amy Desai. He's asking, hello Ranjit, how to make sure that the iPhone you have bought from a retailer or online store is genuine? Amy, just go to Apple support website and just put on your serial number. When you put your serial number on that website, it will show the actual warranty of the phone, when it was purchased and activated and stuff like that. So again, if it's not genuine or if it's a used phone, you'll immediately come to know about that using Apple support website. This is by Maruti. He's asking, I have a doubt. He says, is it okay to use smartphones for 4G video calling or heavy gaming while charging the phone, and does it have any kind of effect on the smartphone performance or battery life? Maruti, when you're charging the phone, if you just get an emergency call or something, like you take it for 2-3 minutes and just leave it, that's perfectly fine. But I would not suggest you do very heavy gaming while charging the phone, because while you charge the phone, the battery, because of most of these phones these days come with fast chargers, the smartphone tends to already heat up, and with gaming it tends to heat up even more. So that can have bad effects. In fact, I would say nothing will happen to the SoC because SoCs are tolerant to that temperature. But generally, for great battery life on your smartphone, heat is the biggest culprit. And if you're doing that, it'll heat up your phone tremendously. And that way, it's certainly not a good idea. And also, always after that Note 7 issue, why do you want to take risks? So personally, I never do very heavy tasks while the phone is charging. But yeah, if you're just charging the phone, you have to do emergency WhatsApp or you're getting a call, you can do that. But heavy gaming, I would personally not do. This is by Parvinder Singh. He is asking if a headphone has a 7.1 surround sound, so will it be good for listening songs on it? And please explain the difference between 5.1 and 7.1 surround in headphones specifically. Parvinder, if you're buying a headphone specifically 5.1 or 7.1 just to listen to music, then it won't be a great option. For listening to music, I would say you'll get the best result with just a proper stereo headset. These 5.1 and 7.1 will be ideal if you do a lot of gaming and also if you want to watch a lot of movies. In those scenarios, those will be great. But just for listening to music, pure music, just a pair of stereo headset would be the best option. This next question is a very interesting one. This is coming from Vishnu. He's asking Lenovo's strategy of selling the Snapdragon 820 for 15,000 and the Snapdragon 625 for 18,000. I think so he is referring to the Moto Z Play. What are they trying to do? Vishnu, yes, you are sort of correct, but I have met some Lenovo officials earlier and I also asked them the similar question. And the thing to realize is that what you're referring the Snapdragon 820 at 15,000, that is for the Lenovo ZUK Z2 PLus. And again, Lenovo has their own another lineup of devices known as the Lenovo Vibe. And again, the Snapdragon 625 for 18,000, that is the Lenovo P2. And again, if you look at Motorola, the Moto Z Play also has the Snapdragon 625 for 25,000. So again, indirectly, all these brands are held by Lenovo. But the thing is that these brands work independently. In fact, the Lenovo officials told me that the ZUK team is no way bothered about what the Lenovo Vibe team does or even the Motorola team does. They work independently on products. Hence, you see, though that all these companies indirectly are owned by Lenovo, they are working individually. And with ZUK, Lenovo has given them a lot of freedom. Hence, you get, and the biggest thing with the ZUK devices is that you get a lot of hardware for the price, but again, they play around with the software for that. And that's the reason with the ZUK lineup, with the Lenovo ZUK Z1, they went with Cyanogen, OS, which is sadly dead now. That's the reason you shouldn't buy the Lenovo ZUK Z1. And with the ZUK Z2, they are using their own and experimenting with stuff. But with the Lenovo Vibe, again, it's a very different thing. And again, with Motorola, it's very different. So it's not controlled by one team. They're independent teams that are creating that product. So yeah, confusing as hell, but that's what it is. This is by Game Shake. Which smartphone do you use as your daily driver and vibe? The thing is that I get this question a lot. There is nothing like a primary smartphone that I have. The smartphone that I'm testing is the current smartphone that I was. For example, just till yesterday, I was using this, Lenovo P2 because I was testing this. I've almost finished testing this one. So hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll be posting my review. But from just yesterday onwards, I started using another device. I can't reveal details about that because I'm testing that one. So again, it keeps changing every week or so, generally between 7 to 10 days whenever I'm reviewing a device. So there's nothing like a permanent phone. I did purchase the Pixel and I plan to use that one as my primary phone. But sadly, if you follow me on Twitter, I broke it. So yeah, there is nothing like a standard primary phone that I have. Whatever phone I'm testing is sort of my primary phone. So if you ask me after 15 days, what will be my primary phone? I don't know. That's the truth, guys. So let's move to the next one. This is by Tony. Did the Galaxy S7 Edge hang after 6 months of usage? Tony, I don't have the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. The S7 Edge that I had was a review unit and it went back to Samsung long time ago. Actually, my wife owns the Galaxy S7 and I would say I noticed some minor lag with the Galaxy S7, but it's not like it's happening every time I use it or something like that. And I've become very picky after Pixel. Pixel and the OnePlus 3 and the 3T are one of those phones. After that, going to any other phone, you see some minor lags. So I noticed some very minor lags with the S7, but it's not like it's happening every time. So that should be the same case with the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. It's basically the touch where sometimes those animations and stuff, it just seems like too much and feel laggy. This is by Nikhil. He's asking, any plans on conducting any giveaways, especially since you have passed 500,000 subscriber mark? Nikhil, I get this question a lot, and if you follow me, I clearly say that I don't do giveaways. And the reason for that is that by doing giveaways, you generally get, junk subscribers. I would rather have 5 genuine subscribers rather than having 10 fake subscribers. That's the reason you'll notice that there are many other channels that have higher subscriber base, or even similar to me, but whenever I post a video, I get a lot more views because most of the users that I have are genuine users who subscribe to my channel because of the content. And I'll rather have genuine subscribers rather than fake high subscriber count. This is by R95R19. What comments do you get from companies when you tell that product is bad? This is a very funny thing. Generally, many companies don't complain, but I have seen some companies complaining. For example, if I recall, recently it was Samsung. After the J2 unboxing, they were pretty annoyed with me. And I noticed after that, the 2 or 3 products that they launched, they never sent the review unit to me. And I asked them, why didn't they? So they told me, you are temporarily on the, blacklist. So yeah, it happens sometimes, but these days it's not happening that much, guys, because the thing is that these companies have realized if they don't send me a review unit, I politely ask them to send a review unit. If I don't do, and many of you are asking me for a review of that product, I'll just purchase it and buy it. For example, this happened with the Moto M. I asked Motorola to send the Moto M review unit, and they said that no, they can't send it. So I just purchased it. So lately, yeah, sometimes some companies do that, but they have just realized that if they're not going to send the review unit to me, and if a lot of you guys have asked for a review unit, a review for that particular product, I just go ahead and purchase it. But yeah, some companies, I would say, yeah, if you give very negative review, you might not get a review unit next time. Happens sometimes, I would say. This is by Pro Entertainment. He says, this is a computer related question. He says, I would like to hear your opinions about the Mac Mini. I'm looking for a machine that can handle all graphics software such as Final Cut Pro and Adobe Master Collection, which includes all Adobe softwares. Pro Entertainment, I would say what you have suggested, Final Cut Pro X and Adobe software. These are pretty heavy softwares, and especially the video editing softwares like Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere are very heavy softwares. And the current Mac Mini is a very crippled machine. It's not a quad-core machine, guys. It's just a dual-core machine. The earlier Mac Mini that was launched in 2012, that's discontinued right now, was a proper quad-core. But the current one is just a dual-core, and hence it's not a very powerful machine for video editing stuff and like that. So personally, I would say if you're going to do very heavy editing and stuff like that, what you're mentioning, then I would personally not recommend that. And sadly, currently, I would say the Mac lineup is not that great. I would lean over the MacBook Pros because currently the Mac Minis are sort of crippled. If Apple updates their Mac Mini lineup and reintroduce the quad-core variants, then you can have a look at that. But the current variant, forget it. This is the last question that I'm getting. This is from Sanjay. He's asking, do you use your MacBook Pro while charging? Is it okay to use the laptops while charging them? Your opinion. Sanjay, yes, I use my MacBook Pro when with the charger when I'm doing video editing. In fact, if you don't put it with the charger while you are video editing and exporting files, it'll be really slow. It won't run at 100%. So yes, I use my MacBook Pro most of the time actually when I'm doing video editing and stuff. It's plugged in and it's been working fine. Now this current MacBook Pro is almost 1.5 years old, and still I plug it in almost most of the time. I would say it's on battery just about 15 to 20% of the time, and it's been working perfectly, I would say. No issues regarding that. So guys, these were some of the questions that I got for this tech Q&A session. Again, guys, do remember that we do this tech Q&A sessions every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. India time. So again, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.